And we're live. Hello, everyone. It's Kristjan from the Depositary here, and I'm joined by Sian from InventoryBase.
Hi, how everyone?
So, as per the normal, we're going to just kick a chatting football around for 30 seconds just to see if anyone wants to join in. Just to say, guys, if you have any questions, comments, whatever, do please post them. And we will share those and discuss anything that needs to be covered. So yeah, do please get in touch. And yeah, otherwise, we're really excited to show you about our fantastic partner integration with InventoryBase. So Sian, we were just chatting, you saying, so Sian, probably a good opportunity actually just to tell everyone a little bit about you.
Oh, okay. So
there you go, put you on the spot.
Just a little bit. I'm Sian. I'm head of training and development for InventoryBase Academy, which is the training arm of InventoryBase. InventoryBase provides software for the lettings and other industries to complete reports. But what we found is that it's great to have the software, but sometimes people actually want to know, well, okay, I know how to use the software, but I also actually want some help doing the actual job. And I run my own inventory company as well. So we thought it would be a really good idea to actually try and support clerks and letting agents in exactly how good quality reports should be done. So that's kind of like my main function within InventoryBase, and I help try and set standards, blogs, webinars, podcasts, etc. Anything we can do to support both the agents and also the clerks in what they do.
And how long have you been involved with InventoryBase, Sian?
So I moved over to InventoryBase, I think it's about 6 years ago now. So wow. I've been operating my business.
Early adopter.
Very early adopter, yeah. I tried a couple of apps beforehand, wasn't really getting on very well, and they weren't really scaling to what I wanted to do. So I moved over to InventoryBase and really bugged the guys. I said, oh, could we do this? Could we do that? Because obviously we're out in the field, we know what we want and how things work. And I think they just got a bit fed up with me. So just come on, just get on with it. There you go do the academy. And it's working really well, getting some really good feedback. But the good thing about it is it means then, InventoryBase is scaling. And now, of course, then what we're doing with the integration with you and the depository, it's really exciting times at the moment.
Yeah, it is exciting, isn't it? I mean, I think, I was just saying the other day that it really feels to me like at the moment that a lot of what we all hope to achieve through tech and partnerships and integrations that we've all been talking about for like the last 5 to 10 years, this whole thing of partnering and collaboration and integration, and they've been some really lovely buzzwords for the last sort of 5+ years. A lot of people claiming to do XYZ but not necessarily delivering the goods, but it really feels at the moment, and there've been a lot of partner integrations, not just in our platform but across the whole sector this year come out, and there's some really fantastic what am I trying to say, collaborations that make total sense. You totally get the value of bringing the two things together because they're great products alone, but you bring them together and they both add something to each other.
And that's the thing with collaborations. And for me personally, both, as a user of InventoryBase, a user in the system, someone who's supplying to the industry, collaboration always seems a bit of a dirty word. It's like, oh, you can't do that, because then you're seen to be working with the enemy, as it were. And certainly within, I think this year, there's been quite a big shift, because I think we've all realised that we've got to work together. We need to work together, and it makes sense, and it's good for the end user as well. So it used to be like a bit of a barrier, whereas now I'm finding actually it's not a barrier at all. In fact, everybody wants to work with each other, not just because it's the buzzword, like you said, it's like the in thing to do, but because it makes really good sense, and it makes really good sense for the end user, for for the agents like yourself, me, clerks, suppliers, and also quite rightly the tenants themselves.
Well, I think we've teed that one up quite nicely, haven't we? So I think it's about time we stopped waffling away and show these guys exactly what this partner integration means. Hi, Chris from Open House has joined us. Open House Inventories. Good to have you here, Chris. Chris is keen to been emailing with Chris the last couple of days. He reached out to find out a little bit more. So I said, yeah, jump on here, have a look. We'll show you what it's all about. So good to have you with us, Chris. So without further ado, let me pop over to here. Here we go. And I'm just going to quickly, actually, do you know what, Sian? I'm going to hide our beautiful faces. I'm going to go full screen so everyone gets to see, yeah, so everyone gets it in full resolution. Just going to hop over to play. Right. And so, guys, this is a lifetime demo. So we're now on a tenancy dashboard, so on the depository. So we're looking at a property where notice has been served. The tenant or agent, depending how it's set up, has gone in and booked their checkout, done their clean, and we're now at the stage of the checkout. We're on the day of the checkout, and I've hopped across to InventoryBase. This is a duplicate template record we've put in. And so you can see there's a couple of issues in there. What's important in InventoryBase with the maintenance issues is that, as just shown there is a liability assigned of tenant. That is what will pull that through. No need with the meter readings. And the moment that inspection is completed, again, it's a lifetime recording. We're now going to hop. Don't know what I was doing. I was recording this. I'm thinking about something. So we're now going to hop back to the platform. Going to just refresh that tab, and there you have it. That's everything imported. So the clerk, whether you're an agent who uses InventoryBase in-house or the third-party inventory provider you uses this software, this is what you now get. So that has validated that the checkout report's happened. It's imported the checkout report into our platform and then distributed that to all parties. As you saw then, we've pulled in all the meter reading info, so the serial number, the reading, the photos. And again, if you use, we've got an integration with Please Connect Me, the utility service. If you use that, that get instantly sent over. And any maintenance issues, what you can see now, this is the juicy bit. For our agents who use the depository already, this is the bit they're really excited about, because these issues are imported as drafts straight into the proposed deduction stage. So here's the dirty oven. What we've done now, we've added in a proposed amount. You can add extra evidence. So it's pulled in the photo from the report, but the agents then uploaded an invoice to that one as proof of what's been done. And here we've got overgrown garden. So again, an amount's going in, they're referencing an applicable tenancy clause. It's pulled through all the text from the report, including liability tenant. And then, what we're showing here is that, you can import stuff from the report, but that's not the be all and end all. If an agent's got something else to add, for example, rent arrears, they've sort of approved the draft version of the deductions. They're now going to add in, other deductions that might fall outside of the report's contents. Bad typing. So that's the third one added in there. And then we're going to say, look, this is the agent going, okay, I'm now ready to send that off to my landlord to get approval. Now, what we said to agents is, this can all be done through the platform. But we're no means advocates of tech only. And by that, what I mean is, what we're saying to a lot of agents, that's quite a good opportunity, actually, before you send it to the landlord, jump on the phone with your landlord and go, look, we've got these up. I'm about to send them to you. Can I just talk them through with you? The landlord might approve them over the phone, and you can actually skip this step. But the landlord might say, oh, great, send them over. I'll have a look. And what we've just seen is the landlord gets an email notifying them. They come in, and there are the proposed things with all the evidence pulled through. For the purpose of today, that landlord's going to be absolutely delighted with everything that you've proposed. So they've signed off, they've done a one-click sign off on all deductions or approval deductions, and then they've given a disclaimer to say basically they indemnify the agent that is a finalized list of deductions. And then that in turn then triggers, that says deductions agreed and sent. So now the landlord has signed off on those. Those deductions have now gone off to the tenant. And we're just going to show, that was the wrong email I opened. And so here's the email that the tenant gets. Now, when an agent's using this would all be white label branded in their agency. And so they know straight away before they come into the platform what they're going to be looking at. But they click in there, and here are the itemized deductions with every piece of evidence they need. So the tenancy agreement, the check-in report, the checkout report, the evidence from InventoryBase report, the evidence that the agent's uploaded, and all the descriptions and references are there. And as we all know, tenants are very reasonable. So that tenant has just gone, yeah, I approve all of those deductions. Please take my money. And that's it. And our platform then takes you through to the refund stage. And so this is set up on a custodial scheme, TDS custodial scheme, set up here, where you just sign off on the deduction and then you issue that payment instruction over to TDS. So that's it, Sian. That was it in a nutshell. Short and sweet. I think our demos for clients are usually quite a bit longer than that. I think our average demo is usually sort of 20 to 30 minutes, but that was definitely like a massive whirlwind tour of just showing agents what that integration does.
But that's really nice and slick, and that's one of the reasons, like certainly from inventory-based point of view, and I can see from other people's point of view, you know, how well it's going to work, because, you know, we want integrations, as we were saying earlier on, that work, that makes sense, that's slick, easy to use, easy to understand, and that works both well for letting agents as well as inventory suppliers. So it's a really good bit of tech, and like purposeful.
Well, there was a couple of really nice things. So one thing I noticed with your guys' report is you guys have sort of two stages at the end. You have completed and you have closed. So completed is the report complete, but from what I understand, closed is sort of if the agent wants almost like a first phase review process before that is sort of signed off on for the landlord and tenant to have a look at. You guys have got those two stages, and what's really nice with the integration that you guys have is the agents or their suppliers can choose when what the trigger for that integration is. So whether it's the completed stage, which we just did, so the moment the inventory clerk clicks that button, it instantly happens, or if the agent wants that little stopgap, if the agents want that little stopgap in there just to do that little bit of due diligence first, you can set it to closed. You can have that little bit of due diligence, and then on approval, all of that happens. You know, and I mean, we reckon that integration per tenancy is going to save an agent on average 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, I think, yeah, definitely so. Just because the fact is that everything just seamlessly gathers into the actual depository, and because of the way the development team from our side and your side as well done such a good job, everything's automatic. You know, as soon as you press that button, everything draws into the right places for the I don't know, for the meter readings, for the pictures, for the actions, as to, you know, when you're apportioning liability, you know who's got to do what and what that then looks like. It's all seamless, and then it's literally just a case of looking at your system, going, okay, this is what I need to do and who it needs to go to. And certainly from an end user point of view, it really does make a lot of sense, because it's all there, it's transparent, it's clear, it's fair. The reports are all there for everybody can see. So from an impartiality point of view, especially from a tenant's point of view, what they want certainly, and some bullet points I was writing before we started, was they want that transparency. They want to see that it's the whole system, the whole process for them is fair, but equally from an agent's point of view, they want to make sure that it's easy to implement, it's structured, it makes sense, and it means, and like you said, they're saving all of that valuable time, which they can then put back into negotiating and get more work.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, look, I think if there's one thing that is front and center of every tenant's mind from the moment they give or receive notice to the moment that money hits their bank account, the overriding question is, when do I get my money back? You know, and so I think the great thing about this integration, we're not just saving agents workload. I mean, you know, those are our clients, and that is absolutely where we want to really deliver sort of tangible results. But, you know, when I look at thinking of base, you know, when I look at our process, the inventory clerk at the moment, we've actually got them doing a trial with you guys, because we're very keen to get on this. But I mean, our process at the moment, they do it a bit old school. You know, they do a Word document inventory, which is transcribed overseas. So, you know, at the moment, we'll have an inventory clerk do a checkout. We probably on average get that report back about 2 working days later. Now, a lot of our checkouts will be Friday, Saturday. So in actual fact, you're looking at 4 or 5 calendar days
extends
to get that report. And then, you know, that's still coming in by email. So then our staff still have to get around to, you know, getting to that email, going through the report, inputting that stuff, and then starting that stage. So, you know, in terms of a tenant, you know, I think not only is this going to save an agent workload, but this is probably going to take somewhere between 3 to 5 days on average off the deposit return time. Now, you know, when you look at, I think the national average is about 21 days from the end of a tenancy for a tenant to get a deposit back. At the moment in our platform, we're currently averaging sort of between 16 or 17 days. You know, so if we can take even 3 days off that, if we can take 3 or 4 days off that to get that down to sort of 12, 13 days, if we can get that under 2 weeks,
Yeah.
you know, then that starts getting really exciting. You know, we're taking a whole week off the national average.
And not only that is also a lot of tenants are moving from property to property. You know, if they need that deposit either to go forward or equally so that then if they have to maybe find the deposits from somewhere else and then put the money back in from this particular let, you know, whatever date or time that extends it by is obviously a cost to them, you know, through, you know, not knowing. Potentially cost from a financial point of view is also a time cost. So anything that, you know, can be done to, you know, bring that down to the smallest amount of time possible is brilliant. It really is good.
So I'm just going to share a couple of questions here. We've got Mark. Hi, Mark. Question, can inventory companies use the depository directly? I mean, I suppose there's no reason why not. We haven't had any inventory clerks sign up. It is primarily what it does is it does do the agent's job. So I can't really understand why an inventory company would want a depository account. I mean, if you're not already using InventoryBase, you know, if you do things as I alluded to with our inventory clerk we use in our company at the moment, you know, he's still a little bit old school. We're trying to migrate him onto the InventoryBase platform. In theory, an agent could add their inventory clerk as a user, so that the inventory clerk could sort of manually do what we've just shown as an automated workflow with InventoryBase. So in theory, the inventory clerk could go in on behalf of the agent and say checkout completed and manually upload the checkout report and manually put in the drafted items.
But that always time, doesn't it? At least
it's quite a lot of time, and knowing what inventory clerks usually get paid for their time, I don't know many inventory clerks that would be readily willing and able. I mean, it depends what agency you work with, though.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at it from an efficiency point of view, Mark. It is about having it so everything is tied in, so it's tied into the system you're using, the app you're using, so that, like you said, you're not spending all that additional time, especially double keying in, because again, that's not efficient. You literally want a pressure button, off it goes, it automatically goes into all the right areas and does exactly what you need to do, and you not even have to think about it. And certainly as an IB user for my own company, one of the reasons I like it really a lot is because the fact is once it's done, as soon as I press that complete button, everybody gets it shared to who's meant to share it. It's easy to understand, easy to look at, easy to comment on and sign, etc. And that's what we want, because you quite rightly say from a cost point of view from a clerk, you know, being paid per inventory, you've got to be as cost efficient as you possibly can. So any step you can take to make that transition and make that job as easy as possible makes a huge amount of sense, which is why the automation of an app, the integration with the depository makes so much more sense.
So yeah, I mean, Mark's quantified it a little bit here, saying they sort of help a lot of self-managing landlords, and they want support with deductions. So look, Mark, what I'd say is at the moment our platform isn't available to sort of standalone landlords. It's quite an interesting question. I'd never really thought about an inventory clerk almost playing the role of an agent with regards to those landlords. I mean, what I would say is, Mark, I'm very happy for us to set up a call and we can have a little chat, and I can walk you through the platform in more depth, and you can have a little look. I mean, as far as we're concerned, we want as many people as possible to be using this platform. We think it embraces sort of best practice standards and transparency and everything. So, you know, we do want more and more people, but I think that would have to be a conversation for another time, because that's quite a unique thing. We've had quite a lot of inventory clerks reach out to us very excited about this, saying, oh, you know, how does this work? You know, how can we show this to the agents we work with? So that's something we're going to be working alongside InventoryBase with over the coming weeks, is really sort of honing down exactly how you sort of propose this proposition, you know, so how you guys as inventory clerks can go, oh, you know, you not only pitch our services, but this is now like an add-on. So you can say, oh, not only do you get our fantastic detailed inventory services, but whether you already use it or not, you've now got access to the depository, and if you sign up to that, you get XYZ. So, you know, we sort of see it as a bit of a bolt-on, you know, an added bonus of your inventory service. And Yeah.
Sorry, Kristjan, and also USP from a clerk's point of view, because it takes our service, not just, we just provide reports, we actually provide a service, and it's almost going end to end. If you think about it, when you start from the inventory check-in, interim, and so on and so forth, it literally takes it all the way down to the point of that deposit being given back to the tenant, less any obviously deductions where necessary. So it means then we're just not just seen as report writers, we're actually seen as service providers. And I think that's really important, because there's a huge skill set within the inventory clerk community that is not really seen as that. So I think the more we can add to our services and showcase that to agents and to landlords, and also to tenants, then the better the industry will be for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Chris has come in with the question that makes every prop tech supplier quake in their boots, which is, what CRMs are we integrated in? Chris, I'm very honest and upfront about this. Right now, we don't have any CRM integrations. So we are just coming to the end of our first year of business. I'm very proud of the fact that we've delivered 4 partner integrations already this year. We've got 2 more that we hope to roll out in the next sort of 4 days. We're meant to roll them out before Christmas, but if not, first week of the new year. Next year, our core focus will be CRM systems, and I think every agent, that is the sort of gold or platinum standard that every agent wants to get to, whether it's just importing data or even an action. What we're looking at, we've started conversations with various CRMs, and what we're really hoping to achieve with as many as possible is not only that sharing of data, but also within your CRM, when you tell that CRM system that tenancy is ending or notice has been served, they all work slightly differently. But actually that then triggers automatically us kicking off. Potentially it's very exciting when we get to that stage. An agent could give or receive notice, and literally the first thing they really have to do is reviewing the drafted deductions. When you think about what an average agent does in that journey at the moment, to leapfrog to that stage and literally just have your drafted deductions all there right in front of you, and then just have to cross-check it with your CRM just to see if there's anything else, as we alluded to in the demo. Maybe there's some rent arrears, or maybe they agreed to pay for a certain something, or whatever it is, there might be things to add. But we've got all the automated comms. So we've got, in the last 4 weeks of the tenancy, we have emails go out to all the tenants, and look, 4 weeks to go, this is what you should be getting done this week. 3 weeks to go, this is what you should do. And we've built a lot of customization, which sort of feeds on to Chris's second point, which is we currently have a white label service. The InventoryBase, does Depositary offer a service like this? Absolutely. I am very happy if the public never know who the Depositary is. We're not looking to be a publicly recognized brand. We're looking to be an extension of an agent or a landlord, and what they do. So in fact, all of our agents use us completely white labeled. The whole platform is branded. There's no Depositary branding in there at all. I think the only time they will see a Depositary logo is at the login page. And we're due to release a feature hopefully in the first quarter next year, which will actually enable agents to have that hosted on a subdomain with all their branding. So that will be the last smidge of the Depositary name in the process hidden. We've got no ego about that. I like I said, I have no problem with the public having no idea who the Depositary is. We very much want to be seen as an extension of an agent's operation, and something that they've done. We're very happy for people to perceive that this is something an agent has done in-house. We don't need any credit. What we're really looking to achieve is saving agent a ton of time, effort, and money on a very, very thankless and often quite stressful task.
Well, it's not really about us, is it, Kristjan? That's the thing. It's not about the Depositary. It's not about the InventoryBase. It's about the functionality and what the person needs to use it for, to provide the best quality service that they can to their clients. And just quickly, just going back to what Chris was saying earlier on about asking about integrations, InventoryBase does have an integration with Repit. Don't ask me exactly how that looks, because I'm not a tech bod whatsoever. We've got a fantastic development team and Steve and James, and all the team here that will deal with that side of things, but we do have that integration. So maybe that's something, Chris, you maybe want to speak to us about on that side.
Yeah, I mean, the integrations are an interesting one. I mean, I've talked about this before. I don't want to harp on too much about integrations because I know this is that sort of nailed in point that gets brought in whenever we're talking about tech, I think. But you know, I think CRM integrations are absolutely on our roadmap, and next year 80 to 90% of what we see ourselves doing next year is developing those relationships with CRMs and hopefully building out those integrations.
Yeah, it's all about making the whole process as easy as possible, end to end, and whatever we can, you know, collaboratively work with or put people or systems, etc., just makes really good sense for everybody. So I think everything is on the table, really, isn't it?
And again, that's getting easier as well, right? You know, we've been talking about how as individual products we're being more collaborative, but obviously the CRM space is changing dramatically. You know, we look back 12 to 24 months and, you know, unless you had a lot of money to throw around or you already established a big market share, you know, it was very hard to get through the door of really any of the major CRM systems. And now you look at, you know, as you alluded to, you guys have just done your Foundations app. We plan to roll out a Foundations app within the first half of next year. You've got the likes of Desres and Agent OS who are on the Zapier API. You've got things like Agent Hub, which has got the Salesforce API. You know, there's lots of softwares out there where it is getting very, very close to being an open marketplace. So the exciting thing is you know, there's a lot of scope there. I think the challenge, as always, is going to be who and when you partner with. I mean, I'm aware of probably about 30 well-established CRM systems in the letting market, and I know there are probably another 20 or 30 on top of that one. So, you know, part of that challenge is going to be who do you know, that's a big pipeline. That's a lot of work. You know, 30 integrations is probably 2 or 3 years work potentially in the pipeline. So it's figuring out that juggling act of who wins. But one of the reasons we've left CRMs really till the end for us is, firstly, we feel that the integrations we're delivering now actually deliver much more value to agents. So, you know, as I said, inventory-based integration, we reckon this is going to save agents 15 to 20 minutes of work per tenancy. It also removes that human error element, because as long as those issues are flagged as tenant, you're not relying on an agent to pick up on all of that manually reading a report. It's all pulled across. Now, we reckon a CRM integration is probably going to save 3 to 4 minutes. So that's a really nice cherry on the top, but compared to 15 to 20 minutes, I know which one I would rather like, you know. And we've got an integration with Please Connect Me, the utility switching service, you know. And again, a lot of agents out there will know bills, just making sure bills get closed properly. I mean, most agents I know aren't even fussed about the revenue. They just want to know bills get closed properly. You can spend hours on that, you know, and that having that integration there, you know, if we make we've made a little bit of money out of our base with our partner with Please Connect Me this year. I mean, really insignificant sums in terms of the business as a whole, but 80% of our tenancies now get closed off pretty much automatically, and that other 20% is usually a utility supplier just making a balls of it, as they often do. So that's why we focused on those. You know, like I said, with you guys it's 15 to 20 minutes. The utility integration, we're probably looking about 15 minutes as well. So those two integrations, we're looking at half an hour to 40 minutes of man hours saved versus 3 to 4 minutes with a CRM. So CRMs definitely are like the gold standard to achieve at the end, but they're not always, you're not always getting that big win. You know,
no, and that's what we need to kind of not necessarily concentrate on, but certainly focus on initially to get that, so that everything else then will hopefully, you know, integrate well and make the whole transition, you know, the whole process so much easier. So we focus on the bigger ones, like you said, these integrations now. Then the rest of it will hopefully follow through quite quickly and easily.
So, Sian, I think we've covered everything from top to tail there. So I think we'll let everyone go. Chris, Mark, thanks for watching and engaging with your questions. Now, just to say, after this goes live, after we finish, this will very shortly be available on Facebook, on YouTube. Our sales and inventory base will be sharing this over the next few days. Do tell your agents about it. Do tell, you know, other friends that other inventory supplier mates that use inventory base. Get them to have a look at it. Do reach out to us Either you can put questions on this post, and Sian and I and Carla will be monitoring this, and we'll try and get answers back to you as soon as possible, or reach out to us directly. If you want to arrange a more in-depth demo, be that of InventoryBase or the depository or both, reach out to any of us. If you talk to us and you want an InventoryBase one, just let us know and we'll have the guys contact you, and vice versa. It's all just about being nice and easy. I think, like most people, we're all focusing on getting through the next sort of 4 or 5 days and then having a nice little break for Christmas. But get stuff lined up for January. We've already got probably 10-15 demos booked in for January, and we're hoping to see quite a few more. So good opportunity just to sort of lay those plans for the new year once you get your doors back open and get that first week, 10 days out the way and back into your flow.
Yeah, because the market's definitely not slowing down, certainly from our point of view, certainly not my point of view and what we were talking about earlier on. So it'd be good to kind of get back onto it come January. But I'm looking forward to a few days off, spending some time with family, and hopefully everybody will have a really good Christmas as much as you can do.
Absolutely. Sian, thank you for your time. It's been awesome chatting. And all that's left to say is, everyone, hope you like what you see. Get in touch. And otherwise, wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I hope you all get very drunk and have a very fabulous time. And we'll see you in 2021.
Happy Christmas, everyone. Take care.
See you, Sian. Bye-bye.